If you're constantly battling low energy, cravings, weight control, watching your health slip away, listen up. There's a simple daily protocol they don't want you to know about that's helping people ditch their meds and reclaim their health. Up to 88% of Americans potentially suffer from some degree of insulin resistance. The Feel Great protocol is a simple 2-step daily system designed to help your body work with you, not against you. Step 1. Unimate, a powerful yerba mate extract clinically shown to boost mood, increase mental clarity, and support fat burning. Step 2. A patented fiber matrix called Balance. Taken before meals, it helps regulate blood sugar, curb cravings, and support healthy insulin response. That's it. No crazy diets, no meds, just science-backed support your body actually understands. Feel Great is perfect for you if you have low energy, weight control, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, poor sleep, diabetes, snacking, sugar cravings, gut health, systemic inflammation. This isn't a trend, it's a transformation. Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great protocol.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now, it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again, and the stage is set. We've had so many crazy things happen this week. We had a nice, lovely show last week on Thursday, and then bam, all hell broke loose. We got plenty to cover. We've got war. We've got Epstein stuff, some interesting stuff coming out of there. We've got operations with the military, blowing up boats, and I think I'll be a man down maybe tonight. I'm not sure if Rdoc's going to make it, but I do got Space Shot and Tron here with me. So let's get into it. Tron, what is going on, sir?
What's up, guys? Welcome to March Madness. It is here, 2026, baby. Everything happening at the same time. HRC, Bill Clinton in these depositions. Then we have war, or again, strategic combat strikes in the midst. And also on top of that, we have a little Scaramucci shuffle as Kristi Noem is taking another position as we have Mullen step in. And again, is this going to be contagious? Are we going to see more of this? Let's find out. But again, the most entertaining outcome is the most likely, and the stage has been set for a long, long time. Hammer of justice, not too quick. We gotta wait. Cuba's smoking cigarettes, waiting for the arrival of American troops. Just kidding. But most importantly, guys, the enemy won't know it's coming, and most importantly, we won't know it's coming. But we're gonna cheer our boss on. We're gonna cheer on America, and we're gonna make America great again with America first. Boom time, baby. Let's get into it. Hit that thumbs up, and let's go for a great show.
Yeah, maybe they're Cuban 250 cigars for America's 250 this year. Maybe. Mr. Space Shot.
Expensive. Booms.
Is Is this how I wait? The microphone? Is this what this is? Okay. Yeah, craziness, dude. Absolutely. And of course, you're gonna have different narratives out there being pushed left and right, but of course, we'll have to see how everything unfolds. Again, we can't tell you with definitiveness exactly what's going on, even a street over from your house. But lots of narratives being pushed around, and we will have a lot of stories, of course, to get to. And
Tron,
of course,
rumble sound.
rumble sound, and
I got it.
of
I was
course,
muted. Sorry, guys.
oh my God! First day on the internet. No, just kidding. Of
Yeah,
course,
you
we
got it
can't.
this afternoon.
Yeah, I got it this afternoon. Forget to
Yeah.
share sound, but can't forget to thank the wonderful mods out there. We do greatly appreciate your help, and of course, big hat tip to Country and the folks doing a simulcast over there at Liberty Based News. Check them out for 24/7 news, of course. And yeah, dude, there's just so much stuff to get to. So we're gonna have to just give it right back to you, Mr. Hulkinator. Loving this
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I mean, let's address one thing, because I see a lot of narrative happening out on the internet. We've got the pro-Trump side, we got the negative Trump side, we got, the MAGA's infiltrated, Israel this, and it's all over the place, in my opinion. And, in the last year or so, the way that I've looked at it, because all of us who have been watching this show and watching us grow and talk about things have seen an evolution of bullshit. I mean, we've seen it repeat again. So, I mean, we're here. You're well trained. You guys were all in the foxhole with us. No pun intended out there, pilled. But we saw this narrative grow. We saw the narrative change. We learned a lot about disinformation, how the cabal works, how the system is built up, and how the system for control works. And is this some immovable object like Mount Everest and Trump's never going to make a difference? Then okay, then we're all right. There's never going to change anything and our life goes on. We get another president. Or is Trump going to be able to spike the football and take the prom queen home? That's what I hope. We're all hoping for that, because we're all here because of that particular idea that, Trump is one man, but it takes a team of people to get through and try to get this message done. And we're still dealing with swamp rats. These little rats are still there, gnawing away at the system, trying to hold on to the mountain of cheese that they don't want to let go. We're chipping away at it. We're at the bottom, but I mean, it's almost like Mount Everest. Thoughts, you guys?
Well, this has always been the test of time. You have to remember that when we all joined together many years ago, we were confused. And then we had this, a leader, Donald Trump, come in and completely, literally be the complete opposite of everything that we saw. And like Hulk said, whether we succeed or not, doesn't matter, but it kind of does. I mean, again, going back to the last president, we don't have a country unless justice is served. And right now in 2026, it's Donald Trump, it's MAGA, it's Republican parties, conservatives, and this is what it's going to be for the next 2+ years. I mean, we don't like to label ourselves left and right, but again, this is how it's been set up. And most importantly, no matter win or lose, we've learned how to fight the battle head on. This is something that we never knew anything about. We were used to never-ending wars. We were used to the usurping of an American corporation. And again, this was an experiment back in 1776. So the fact that we are together in this time on the 250th anniversary, never forget this, is not by coincidence. So again, we dig, we mean, we pray. And most importantly, like Hulk said, guys, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of influencers out there that are trying to make us feel that 2026 midterms is going to be a loss, that 2028 is going to be a loss, unless we do this, unless we do A, B, and C. And at this point right now, I think we're all in agreement, most of us at least. I trust my president. It's 2026, dude. We are trying to get America back on our feet. We're trying to erase the last 4 years. And most importantly, we're trying to move quick. And that's exactly what's happening in 26. Narratives come in, they come out, and that's how you confuse the enemy. You got to keep hitting them hard, stay in the spotlight, and most importantly, let's set that stage for what's to come next. And what that is, again, God's plan, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. So, Mr. Space Shot, is he the deal maker?
I truly believe that, right? And again, this is my perspective. You guys can take whatever you want from it. I don't think it's President Trump in there just, hey, what do you think today? All right, we're shooting from the hip and we're going to go do this, this, and this. I think there's a much bigger plan behind the whole situation. And, we all know what I'm speaking of here, right? But so you have essentially two camps out there. It's like Trump's doing his thing, and we're on that path. Or the other one is, Trump's just he's in BB's pocket and he's doing the things that the Adelsons and the Jewish people want to do, and blah 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 blah. I would say, has he garnered enough support that he deserves the benefit of the doubt? And I would say absolutely, right? And I think he's done a lot of really good things over these years. So you need to kind of look at the implications of what's going on here. Right, the various shipping routes that they're shutting off, and I'm sure we'll get into that stuff later. But lot bigger pieces than just here in the United States. And when I see that thing, like people might scoff at it, but that whole 666 thing with the horses and stuff, that shows me like an international type of control. I mean, how the hell would that happen otherwise? So, we'll see how things play out here, but I'm very optimistic as to what's going on, because there has to be a lot of change here too, right? There has to be a lot of change, especially like Tron was mentioning right before the 250th. We're going to have a big old party in 4 months from now. Some things need to be kind of, leveled off, so to speak, right? They need to be straightened out before we get to that party time. And I would think everybody can agree with this, no matter what you believe in, that we have a lot of work and a lot of things that have to be done before we could be comfortable enough to enjoy that. And I think it's coming. I think it's ramping up big time right now.
Yeah. And like some people, because a number of them are blackpilling, and it's okay to listen to somebody blackpilling as long as you understand the position that they are coming from. Is it disinformation, or is it just an issue or something they've run into? Because understand the nuance and what the other side is telling you. That is a very important message to make sure you understand why they're telling their people this, to see how the influence works and how we got influence and the stuff that we got into. And then Elon Musk puts this stuff out right there, Mr. Tron.
Yeah, guys, what's the coincidence? We have Hillary and Bill Clinton in that deposition where she requires special beauty lighting and whatnot. And she's even wearing the same outfit, that blue that Bill was wearing at the Epstein artwork.
Oh,
and
God.
here's Elon Musk. The stage is being set for what is to come. And he drops this on the 5th. And the very next day on the 6th is a stage is set for an HRC video. And we just learned that we're going to have more Epstein files come out. So panic ensues all through DC. And again, the most entertaining outcomes, the most likely, something for everyone. And this is absolutely fantastic. This is military precision. This is how is POTUS always 5 steps ahead. And to get a little hat tip from a quote unquote outside operator, who knows, Elon Musk here to remind us that that is a movie and we must enjoy the show. But again, this is fantastic. And I love these little hat tips. Doesn't matter necessarily where it comes from. It's nice to see it, especially in 26. Refreshing.
I was seeing if you made a comment down here with
No,
the
I don't.
Thundercats down there.
Well, remember too, early on, we were kind of thinking like, what is he trying to kind of weasel his way into, like, remember the pictures of the crossing the Durham boat, crossing on his nightstand there, and a couple other things in there too. So we're like, wait, is he trying to? And I know Tron's asked him, and I've asked him, he never answers me. Do you watch Thundercats growing up? And dude, think about that. That has to be who they're talking about. Does X whatever? And it's like, well, what did Elon, move PayPal to? He wanted to call it X back in the day. He changed friggin' Twitter to X. One of his kids' first names starts with a friggin' X. So he kind of has this thing with X. So I don't know. Take it for what you will.
Hat tip to everybody out there that understands what we're talking about, that could see the matrix and understands how to read it. You guys got a good education, in my opinion. Where else are we going? Let's get into a little bit of pieces coming from the White House.
Yesterday, the leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh.
A little bit of copyright. I was the hunted, now the hunter. So yeah, we're taking out some big guys out there, it seems like, out there, right?
Another
Well,
one.
that's, yeah. Another one
Tron.
bites the dust.
The post right there. Let them know, Tron, Hunter hunted.
Yeah, guys, I was the hunted and now I'm the hunter. And this has been dropped several times, 2018, 2019, plus. And again, some of us are amused at this point, but it's like, okay, we've been here before. But to see the White House drop a quote unquote Qism is nice, and most importantly, to see boss surrounded by youthful patriots, good looking patriots, and literally the complete opposite we've seen the last 4 years. This is how we do it. This is how we get it done. And America first means the world will fear us, no matter where you're at. We're gonna get you. You might bleed out of your eyes. We might send a little dew weapon. We might show you something we've never seen before. And this is the beauty of Donald J. Trump. Again, setting precedences, and this is the force of American might. This is it.
Yeah, exactly. Out there on the first side there. Yeah, we can do a little history lesson right there. Any one of you two want to take that one?
Certainly. Never gotten over the fact that Obama was able to send $1.7 billion in cash to Iran, and nobody in Congress, the FBI, or Justice called for an investigation. Isn't that cute how that happens?
And the other issue, I couldn't find it right before the show, but I had come across something from the government over here that people were digging into about this said information here that talked about the exact two cash depository, Fed, whatever banks, wherever they got the money from in the United States at two spots, where they win it, they had what planes, all those sort of things. They just didn't talk about the ones where they had to stop over international, pick up some foreign cash to make up that difference. I just thought it was cool that it's coming out of the government stuff. Some of these leaks as we're starting to see here. What else do we got here? There you go, Tron. You can take a crack at that. We'll talk about a couple of these things that we learned.
Guys, check it from Joel Fisher. Remember how we got here. Hillary Clinton supplied Iran with uranium to enrich their nuclear program. Barack Obama gave Iran $1.7 billion that they used to fund their nuclear program. And Joe Biden unfroze over $16 billion of funds for Iran. I forgot about that, the hostage deal. But for some reason, they blamed this on Trump. And guys, the pallets of cash of Iran go back way, 2017 when Q reminded us. And this is, again, one of many ways they threw our money around. But and somewhat, Canada as well is kind of put in the corner because they kind of facilitated the transaction of this uranium. And what they were planning in North Korea was the same deal they had in Iran, creating that proxy enemy to create havoc and eventually bring in and usher in that World War III, sum of all fears scenario. So God bless our troops and over there doing their deal, and clean and swift. Let's do it.
Yeah, so just to do a little quick history lesson for everybody out there. Here we go.
And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
Huh. Trump didn't say that. Gee. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, you ever hear the old saying, she did it without batting an eyelash? There you go. Oh my, what was she on right there, dude? Was that like peak adrenochrome just like coursing through her blood at that point? Because she was super surprised looking that whole 30 seconds.
Yeah. So, yeah. And, just remember this whole supplied Iran with the uranium stuff that went through Canada and they went to Russia and Iran, that whole deal itself. They only prosecuted the truck driver. Remember that? The trucking company? That's the only person that got in trouble. Just weird shit. It just, as long as everybody's keeping score. What else do we got here? There we go. Here, read this for everybody, Mr. Space Shot.
Such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. You will see great support from the United States at the appropriate time. That is from January 3rd of 2018. You didn't forget.
Yeah, so we've been here before. So, we saw this entire operation, light off. We're blowing stuff up, taking out the regime that is there. The United States has received damage. Obviously when Iran's coming out and saying, oh yeah, 600 people died or whatever, I think it's in the hundreds because, these people are not stupid. They're very smart. They've instituted attacks against America over a long period of time, going all the way back to Iraq and roadside bombs and the whole deal like that. So we've seen this thing happen like that. They've watched how we communicate, and they went out and took out some NSA pulled out communication areas, little transceivers, port radio dish, stuff like that. So they did go into and eliminate some of our stuff and probably killed more than 100 Americans out there that haven't been told to us yet. They're saying it's 4 or 6 or whatever. It's going to be a lot more than that, I think, when they finally come out, to be honest with you. But they're being cautious in this. So you guys want to say anything right off the bat?
Well, I mean, I got Ghost coming on tomorrow, and he said basically, you know, there are casualties. He goes, but there are not any particular area where, like, oh my God, you got hundreds over here and thousands and hundreds. So basically, he said, and this is going back till, you know, last Saturday, Sunday, so things could have changed, and we'll get an update tomorrow. But back then, he said yes, there were absolutely casualties. So nothing's going to be completely clean, of course.
Yeah. So when they were doing evacuees, the different areas and hotels and Abu Dhabi and all the little Dubai, and they hit those areas there where they knew service members were staying. So, you know, the whole idea of some things of Israel had dentists planned inside the Iranian government that were doing dental work and had GPS tracking chips in their teeth. There's a whole bunch of other stories you can go down to, but that is some of the ones that is tracking there. I'm not saying that's true or not, but going off with the pager type thing that was interesting, just to think about these different operations that they've gone there. So, you know, Trump's been saying this is probably going to be out 4 weeks. They're saying, I've heard recent reports all the way out to September. You know, so in the end, I'm not entirely sure, and Rdoc would give a deeper analysis into some of this stuff here. But, you know, Iran did attack the rest of the Gulf states. They're kind of mad. We're hearing pushback from the Gulf states saying, hey, I don't know if I want to go invest all this money in America for trillions of dollars, and they're over here blowing this stuff up and those sort of things. We don't know where the truth lies until we get, you know, another probably 3 or 4 days and see how stuff lays out. Then we'll understand where everything is at. That's kind of a synopsis. Comments?
Well,
Yeah, well, at least we're getting some nice HD footage. I mean, remember the Ukraine war? We had women with the grandmas with the plywood AK-47s and whatnot. So at least it's a change of scenery. But you have to remember, Boss said right there at the appropriate time. And imagine if this operation was conducted under a Sleepy Joe administration. You know, again, not another 4-year election. We were extremely blessed that we made it past all that, and now here we are in this position. But again, timing extremely important. This is putting a stranglehold on China's, you know, oil supply and whatnot, and the fact that we're taking care of hemispheres on our own side is not a threat to the world, but mostly a threat to the EU. I mean, they've been a little bit silent. They're sitting on their hands. They're kind of waiting for what Boss is going to do next, and this is a perfect example of how America is leading by example.
And Hulk, I dropped it a little while ago too. I know to your point about like who's bombing what. There's a NDTV, and I've heard a few different people reporting on it as well, that Trump described Iran's decision to strike Gulf countries as, quote, probably the biggest surprise of the campaign so far. So basically, Arab nations that were initially reluctant to join the American-backed military campaign against Iran are now pushing to take an active role, and it was Iran's surprising actions was the reason, essentially. So like you were just talking about how they hit those other areas, some of those people got a little perturbed.
Exactly. So now what are we hearing? We got the Kurds coming in from the east, going to go into Iran and kind of take over the Kurdish Iranian area or whatever, to push some of the IRGC out and try to finish them off while they're still lobbing stuff as much as they can all over the place, because they got ballistic missiles that have, you know, multi-point heads that come down and take out a pretty big area. So they still got a lot of stuff that's hidden, because that's what they were doing, hiding everything underground. And as that stuff starts to pop up, that's why Trump says this is our second round that we're going to be coming around. And it seemed like they dropped the B-2s over there with some of the bunker busters, and started hitting the deep underground dumps that they have some of this stuff stored in for the uranium enrichment stuff. Because even some of the consulates were saying that, you know, that we had 60% enriched uranium. And you got to remember, if you're going to do like nuclear fuel or something, it's like 6 or 9%. They said we had 60%. You need higher than that to make, you know, close to being pure to actually make a nuclear explosion. So they said they're 60%, which they could have refined it down if they had the right technology and made a small bomb out of it. But we don't know exactly how much they had. So they're blowing up everything. And Putin said, yeah, we'll help out as much as we can to facilitate the war with United States and Israel against Iran. So found that interesting.
2 million Russians apparently in Israel. So yeah, it's great. And I'm finding it just amazing too. Like, no, couple countries stood up and said, hey, we're not going to take this. We can't let this guy keep being a gangster out there. That's why that's another piece of the puzzle as to why I believe there's a bigger plan going on. Because I think had this been just your average everyday thing, like other countries would have ganged up and been like, no, you can't be doing this. Wait, you just went and took a president, you bombed these guys, now you're coming in for a full, like, what the hell's going on here? So I see it a little bit more than that. So we'll see.
So we sank 24 ships so far, plus the submarine that was supposedly at some parade down in India. I'm hearing the other side of the story. It was there for testing and trials and those sort of things. But anyways, they were down there hanging out with each other, I guess, and they hit it as soon as the sub left. And they've also hit an Iranian drone ship too. Remember they were talking about that back when the UFOs are flying all around? Yeah, but this is one that launches ones with propellers and all that stuff. So I don't think they hit the UFO one back in the day, if you remember those stories. And remember, Iran tried to kill Trump twice, or they tried to shoot Trump twice. And we heard about the Ukrainian snipers. We heard about the Iranian teams at the same time. And of course, we saw the Middle Eastern men come across the border talking about those sort of things itself. So yeah, if Iran had the chance, they would have taken him out.
Oh, absolutely. You don't know who I am, but you soon will know who I am. I just always found that guy to be very interesting. Not so subtle there, Mr. Covert.
So, as the other side over here really quickly, so they're going to demilitarize Iran, take out the IRGC, protect the United States. But, if you think about the other side, the fundamentalists there in the country is like, oh, we're going to eliminate the Pope and all his bishops and then take over the Vatican. That's what they're saying because that's their religion, their religious leader. It's not a president. It's their religious leader. And then they picked somebody else, and then we bombed that meeting and killed everybody. Now they picked his son. So I don't know. I don't know if he wants the job or not.
Not a big life expectancy.
No. So you could take a crack at that for everybody here.
Mr. Ezra A. Cohen. The United States munitions stockpiles have, at the medium and upper medium grade, never been higher or better. As was stated to me today, we have a virtually unlimited supply of these weapons. Wars can be fought, quote, forever, and very successfully, using just these supplies, which are better than other countries' finest arms. At the highest end, we have a good supply, but are not where we want to be. Much additional high-grade weaponry is stored for us in outlying countries. Sleepy Joe Biden spent all of his time and our country's money giving everything to P.T. Barnum, Zelensky of Ukraine. Hundreds of billions of dollars worth, and while he gave so much of the super high-end away, free, he didn't bother to replace it. Fortunately, I rebuilt the military in my first term and continue to do so. The United States is stocked and ready to win. Big. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, thank you. True Heart out in chat corrected me. Community Son was also killed. So yeah, they're still looking job openings over there. So put it out there for Indeed. So what are we seeing? Obviously, we know. I went and looked at the numbers, and we can only make about. I think we're at like 400,000 or 500,000 shells a year. They're trying to get it to 1 million shells a year. Obviously, there are different qualifications and classifications for the 155 ammo that they use, plus other stuff that's out there. But we gave away a lot of the good stuff. Some of the people looking at records of the stuff that we've shot out there, they're noticing some of the missiles, and I'm going to be ignorant on this because I don't remember exact what model it was, but obviously there's a Mark III of this particular missile we used to shoot stuff down or whatever. We didn't use very many of those, and people are finding remnants of the Mark II version of it, which shows dates on the product from the early 2000s. So we're out there shooting 25-year-old missiles and stuff like that. I'm not saying that we're running out of them, but just interesting that people have picked that up and go, hey, they're using this shelf life on this stuff's like 15 years anyways, and they're shooting stuff that's like 25 years old. So
yeah. Just
to put that in perspective.
Using the B squad stuff for the B team.
Or we don't have enough armaments to get this done, and we'd have to, that's the other thing is Rdoc was telling me that there was a Texas deal where we almost made drones, send the drones to Ukraine. Ukraine is going to finish them over there, and since they're not using them, they're going to sell them back to the United States when all the parts came from Texas and America. So again,
right.
this stirred up the hornet's nest all across the world, the Mideast and in America. And we did have a violent attacker over here down in Texas go over there and start killing people at the nightclub over here. I think he killed 2, injured like 14 or 12. So yeah, he is not American. You can see right here, he's not a white American right here, not a Republican or anything like that. Not to make light of that, but that's what they would normally label this guy, is not the descent of his country. But this dangerous stuff is going to continue happen, guys. We need to be very vigilant on this stuff. It is going to accelerate, especially when we come into the midterms. And just think about soccer's like, what, 4 months away?
Mm-hmm. And also remember that this is another reason why Boss had our ICE, our border, or not our border patrol necessarily, but muscle in these select cities previously. I mean, this was probably necessary before this Iran war. And again, the proxies, they found 1,500 that the Sleepy Joe, 1,500 Iranians that came across the border illegally that are somewhere planted in America. So again, bless our soldiers over in Iran. But again, if you're in a heavy Democrat blue area, head on a swivel. I mean, this is again, they're not running their best. They don't have their best ammunition. The destruction of the old guard is in effect. But Lone Wolf, I don't know. He's wearing that Allah T-shirt. I mean, the last time I went anywhere, I'd never seen any of that anywhere. But again, the most entertaining outcome. Prayers out to the family, and hopefully we can reduce any sort of collateral damage moving forward. But we're in good hands. That's what one thing that I definitely know.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to. Oops, that's the wrong button. We got to get this button over here. I got a tip via Rebel Wallet from Sean.
Inane.
Sean Inane. I think that is correct out there.
Holmes.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the Rebel Wallet out there. You guys rock.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, and Hulk, last show, I don't know if I just didn't see it, but Godwin's 4517 became a monthly supporter. I think it was the end of last show, but thank you, and I do appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, hopefully you're liking the show. Leave comments in the bottom. Go over there and just make new accounts and then go follow us again and then like it again. That'd be greatly appreciated. What else do we wanted to get in here? Okay, so this is the news report. I'm not going to play a little bit of this. But again, they've labeled it as a terrorist action down there in Texas. And it's just heavy bar area, kind of same thing that happened with in Louisiana. But that guy had a car, then jumped out, started killing everybody. So remember, they got really quiet after that, and they didn't really talk all about that. So yeah, they're trying to keep that information down because they did tell us how many Iranians are inside the United States they're worried about. Oh, about 1,500. We know all of them. We just don't know where they're at. So we did get 4 members of the U.S. military, hat tip to them for serving and their lives that were given in this Iran attack. We're going to see a lot more of it. I'm hearing as high as 6. Dubai accidentally shot down a couple of our jets. Oops, sorry, our bad. Some were from planes, some were from ground radar itself. Yeah. Anyways, stuff happens. These guys didn't die in any one of those things, but in some of the bombings and stuff that were coming, those are the things that we're running into. And again, this is going to happen. I think this is only going to get a little bit worse. Do I think they're going to put boots on the ground? No, not whatsoever.
Correct, sir. Sorry, just getting rid of a bad chatter, putting some swear words. Appreciate that, mods. Good job.
Come to my chat. You can swear as much as you want.
Well, I put the words inside Rumble that they can't use.
It started with an N. Next one was an I.
We're allowed one of those a month, I heard. My boss got one. He got an award the other day.
For what?
You're allowed to say N-word once a month. There was this meme. There was this meme when this black African guy was next to boss, and he's, they had the voiceover, and he's like, "You're allowed to say it once every week" or something. It was funny. I'm not going to explain the meme, but nonetheless, yeah.
We get it.
Actually,
all right, let's go.
Just really quick. Anybody that's in that YouTube link, just hit the 3 dots that are on the side of that message and report him for hate speech, and then we'll never see that account ever again. Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the internet. Reported. So let's give evidence about good old Kristi Noem over here because she's got a new job. So I'm not saying she's fired or whatever, but boss ain't happy.
I'm asking you, sorry to interrupt, but the president approved ahead of time you spending $220 million running TV ads across the country in which you are featured prominently.
Yes, sir. We went through the legal processes, did it
Did the
correctly,
president
worked
know
with
you were gonna do
OMB.
this?
Yes,
He did.
yes.
Okay.
And one thing, Senator, I think would be helpful to know is how effective that communications has been. That
Well, they were
overwhelmingly
effective in your name recognition. I mean, I personally just, I mean, to me, it puts the president in a terribly awkward spot. And and I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do. I'm asking you.
So it turns out that, her hiring this entertainment firm 11 days after this firm was started with a $183 million ad campaign to promote her running the lead on the government for this particular operation out there out of the $220 million. Shortly after this testimony, Trump called screaming at Mr. Kennedy over here, being pissed off. Not because that he was asking the questions, is that he didn't authorize her to go and spend $200 million. He was totally unaware of this. And we did hear through rumblings that the IG was poking around, taking a look at some things, and that these investigations had been squashed. About 11 of them is what they're getting to over probably the last 4 months or so. We've seen peekings of this. You've heard of this, right, Mr. Space Shot and Tron?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That and that she's gone, and we're gonna bring in the mixed martial artist Mark Wayne Mullen.
Yes. So if you want to give a crack at this is one of many, but this is probably the highlighted one. Mr. Space Shot, would you read?
Blatantly. Fired DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was blocking oversight of her record and the Secret Service's failures at Butler, the Trump-appointed DHS Inspector General charged. Is that toasty? Just days before Trump fired DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, the Trump-appointed DHS Inspector General Joseph Kafari alleged in a letter to Congress that DHS leadership and Noem specifically have, quote, systematically obstructed his investigative work. Quote, the Office of Inspector General is authorized to conduct criminal investigations into allegations that have a nexus to Homeland Security, as well as audits and inspections of Homeland Security's programs and operations, the letter asserted, citing supportive federal statutes. Kafari also accused Noem and her team of thwarting his investigations into the Secret Service failures related to the Butler assassination attempt by blocking his and his team's access to a compartmentalized intelligence program, even though a separate Trump administration intelligence agency had approved Kafari's access. This is not looking good for her, dude. Kafari also noted that he and his team were granted access to a similar intelligence program at a different agency to work on a national security criminal investigation with another law enforcement agency. Preventing his access significantly stymied his investigation into the Secret Service failures, Kafari wrote to the chairman and ranking members of the Senate and House Homeland Security committees. Quote, this is particularly troubling given the other reported attempts on President Trump's life, coupled with the present worldwide conflict, Kafari wrote, asking the lawmakers for their help resolving these problems. I've included the Homeland Security Inspector General Kafari's letter to Congress below. Full letter takes 2 links. Boom. That's not good, dude. Oof.
No, it's not looking good. You know, I knew it was going to finally come out. It just took us 4 to 6 months before we finally see any part of this truth that's coming out there. But I mean, this is not the first time we've seen this stuff hidden or changed or moved around, you know, because the other thing is the whole auto pen Biden thing or whatever. It came out that the government has failed to come up with some sort of charge. So they've dropped that particular aspect. And the gentleman, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, was it Eagleman that was running that operation over the DOJ? Because we heard a month ago that thing got all tabled in the end of December and that it had been sitting idle and they weren't going after anybody. So just we're starting to see the repercussions of some of this stuff that we were told that we're going to be looked into, that's not been looked into, that we haven't seen anything. And John Solomon's still out there, talking about the whole DHS election issue that, she wrote a big report on that we haven't seen. I think that's the other girl, Tulsi or whatever. Anyways, for those things. So there's some things that we haven't seen. And then, of course, the whole Dan Bongino thing, shift change and brought in a second deputy deal. We still haven't seen anything move on the Epstein stuff. So are they culminating all this big giant shit sandwich into a big giant RICO case? Maybe, because there's still movement of stuff that is happening, and these people are panicking itself, and we're seeing a lot of reactions that are happening. We just we haven't seen the baby yet. They keep talking about it. They tell us how big it is. I want to see the baby.
Is it boy or girl? Well, you keep seeing things like this happen too, right? Like this, and you look around and Lutnick, oh no, I didn't know Epstein. It's like, oh, well, you really did. And so you wonder too, how much of this is them knowing people that are going to cover up and then catching it later, because this is something right here that I don't think we would have seen in the first administration, and certainly as fast. And I say fast as being relative, but I don't know that we would have seen this early on. And then so she's gone. And then, of course, everybody's like, no, it's, she did advertising. She spent money on advertising, but Hulk pulled this one up. And I would say this is probably more the reason.
Yeah, so there's a couple. And I don't know what they're holding back, because we all saw how people act when they're put under pressure, when they really learn the truth. And somebody's turning the screws to you. And I'm saying the deep state's still in charge, guys. Just because Trump's driving the ship, you got a whole teammates in there that are trying to throw you off the ship. And the whole mutiny thing, it's happening as we see it. And we see the little deep state plays and, the deal making. But again, Trump knows that deals have to be made to get stuff done. That's the way DC always works. But he always, in the end, likes to hand him a mic and point the light at him and make him dance. True. He's really good at that.
That's very true. And we'll see how this stuff lays out too. But, it doesn't look good for her. And I feel like a lot of the times, just like you said, he puts the highlight on people. He brings the people close to them. So again, we'll see if this was a coordinated plan thing or if this was something they just found out later.
Yeah,
or
and
perhaps was Hulk again, the Scaramucci model. Remember, we haven't seen this yet in this administration to the full effect. So maybe this is a start of shifting the chessboard a little bit. I mean, she didn't get necessarily fired. She got moved to a different position in the southern hemisphere, whatever that means. I got to look into it. But I think there is, again, like you said, if there is any sort of conflict of loyalty, I mean, at this point, deep state, I mean, we don't want to think that Boss would, have that around him. But again, like Boss is, watch The Apprentice. He finds a use for everyone. You might have some faults, but guess what? You might have an ability that the boss sees in you, and he's going to use that to the fullest ability, exhaust it, and then maybe move you around. That's Trump's world. So we'll see what happens with Noem. I like this new guy. We went from this nice, cute, sexy Barbie doll, and she did a great job on the superficial, surface. Again, it's nice to have good people out there. We have a very, very nice cabinet of people, and most importantly, we have this new guy coming in. He's got full of testosterone. He's UFC. He's ready to go, and maybe this is what we need now. We need a little bit more force for what's to come, maybe next that we don't know about. So I'm all for it. It's good.
The one thing I do like is since Tom Holman has taken over, we've seen a lot less repressed information. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, but we're not seeing the highlights of DHS shooting people in the streets or anymore, because I think that's kind of a bad idea to do. So it seems like we've made some adjustments. We fine-tuned the machine in a way it's going to go as we move along with the Trump agenda. But there is a lot of pieces that all of us want to see get done to make America great. There's still some really good things he is doing and have made a difference, and we can see it in our everyday lives. But, there's still some answers that need to be put out there. So that's happening with them. I thought this was interesting. So just reported, read this for everybody.
Holy shit. Fox just reported that Mark Wayne Mullen had 30 seconds notice before Trump announced he'd be nominated as DHS secretary. The White House is falling apart. It's frantic. They don't know what they're doing. Oh, no.
Yeah, job change.
Were you surprised, Senator?
The phone call I got from the president was right before the statement went out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's all you get.
He has two
Batter
first
up.
names. That's his name. Mark Wayne is in one name. That's crazy. It's like Batman, dude. What is this?
Mark Wayne, Bill Mullen. I know. Hopefully,
Oh, he's got
hopefully
four.
Wayne is his middle name. I don't know. But Hulk, another consideration as well is, you know, you look around and you mentioned Bongino, you know, FBI, and then you got Homeland Security and
Well, the tax guy too. Remember, he
Well, yeah.
disappeared from the IRS.
So various different things. So like what I'm kind of going into, and I'll probably misquote it, but like what must be proven to engage the like military intelligence over these agencies? And I think as you look around, you're like, dude, all these friggin' places are just swamp ratted to the max. No matter who's in charge, they still have these holdovers, these friggin' senior executive service type folks over there. So the swamp rats are fighting hard to keep themselves in there, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, they're toast.
Yeah, because we had some heavy hitters over the DOJ that are sitting idle here at this point. So let's see. You know, we got to see what the FBI wants to get done. And Radcliffe's been kind of silent here lately. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Marco Rubio gets a new job as DHS or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah. Here's her exit letter. You want to read her exit letter?
Sure. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, wait.
Oh.
Just to let everybody know, she was live on television when Trump put the notice out. Go ahead and read this.
Really? And interesting that with all the things that we just learned, that she's, like you said, she's gotten another position. They just didn't axe her completely. So that's an interesting point. Thank you, POTUS Trump, for appointing me as a special envoy for the Shield of Americas. Secretary Rubio and Secretary War are incredible leaders, and I look forward to working with them closely, you mean under them, to dismantle cartels that have poured drugs into our nation and killed our children and grandchildren. The Western Hemisphere is absolutely critical for U.S. security. In this new role, I will be able to build on the partnerships and national security expertise I forged over the last 13 months as Secretary of Homeland Security. We have made historic accomplishments at DHS to make America safe again. We delivered the most secure border in American history. 3 million illegal aliens have left the United States. We have located 145,000 children. FEMA delivered disaster relief at a 100% faster rate. We ushered in the golden age of travel, saved American taxpayers $13 billion, and revitalized the U.S. Coast Guard. As I'm out the door.
Her exit letter is basically wound up like this.
Hopefully, they're not going to do what they did to Don Jr.'s ex-girlfriend. Ambassador of Greece. I haven't seen Kimberly Guilfoyle in like 6, 8, 10 months.
That's right. I forgot about that, dude.
No. You should be manning a Secretary of State thing in Siberia.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one. Take a crack at that, Mr. Space Shot.
Breaking exclusive. Highly respected attorney Jeffrey Clark is resigning from the Trump administration. He has served as acting administrator of the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs and has now submitted his resignation. An exclusive letter obtained by me, addressed to OMB Director Russell Vogt, Clark states he's stepping back into private life, but he vows he will not abandon the broader fight. Clark faced intense attacks from the previous Biden regime due to his unwavering loyalty to President Donald Trump and to the U.S. Constitution. His departure represents a significant blow to the current administration.
He's one of the impeachment lawyer group guys. So just to put him in, he's the one that went to bat for the president. So bad stuff. A lot of issues that you start to run into as we starting to see people cycle out of the administration here. But let's check in with CNN and why are they saying this?
Republicans love Donald Trump more than any president's own party supporters loved him at this particular point. Just take a look here. Okay, own party supporters, 21st century presidents, own party approval, about at this point in the second term. Bush was at 77%. Obama was at 77%. Look at this. 86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point. That is higher than either Obama or Bush had within their own party at this point. Trump's magic touch has not seen the war off yet when it comes to the Republican base.
And what kind of approval are we talking about here?
Okay, so we're talking about overall approval here. How about the strongly approved, not just like, but love. Okay, we're going to look at these same presidents again. Strong approval among your own party's base. What you see here is Trump is the only one who gets a majority at this point in their presidency. Obama was at 48%. Bush was at 47%. You see here Trump at 53%. Not as high as overall approval rating, but still getting a majority of the Republican base, at least in the.
So we're still seeing positive things happen in America, and America does see it, and CNN has to come out and tell the actual truth to actually show the numbers, again, of Trump as being right.
I love it. This dude right here keeps on coming out and rah and Trump, and then you got the other dude there that's just like smoking his co-host left and right there. And I keep forgetting his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, CNN is basically turned into like Fox Light lately.
Fox
yeah,
Now.
they've been closing studios left and right, and there's nothing left of CNN. Even Boss months ago joked about, the old Ted Turner CNN was better than this nonsense. But again, Boss coming in with the numbers and not surprising. I mean, to be honest with you guys, if you kind of throw away everything of this third term, technically, and just look at the story. I mean, the comeback. I mean, who does this? Who goes down so much in the first 4 years of the first administration? Russia, Russia, Russia. Again, everything against Boss, his family, and America in the same time. And then we had the not another 4-year election, boom time, the comeback. And this is the comeback story of the lifetime. And again, so happy to be a part of this movement. And most importantly, participating in this precipice. Boss is going to take us with us across that finish line, baby. We're going for gold. Let's go.
Well, that's the only direction we got. I mean, that's what we're all hoping for.
That's the only choice. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. This is it.
Yeah.
This is our Super Bowl.
So Texas had some elections here, and might as well go here first. We had to do that one twice. So Crockett's out. She's saying there might be some cheating and whatnot there. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's what she basically was saying to last night, and then made a public appearance at some, I don't know, must have been a gas station or something, and was kind of crying because she realizes it's actually totally over for her. She's lost her seat for the Senate because she got basically squeezed out with the whole redistricting in Texas. She was up against the Republican who won, and she's out. So she knew she was not going to win, so she went for Senate and she lost. The Democrats tried to extend voting by 2 hours. Ken Paxton stepped in and said, nope. And the Supreme Court ruled very quickly for Texas and said, yeah, everybody stop counting at the end of the day with everybody all at the same time. Pencils down.
That's awesome. Some change there. And good to see. I'm sure you get to the other one, but she wasn't the only one. And
well,
awesome.
The other one is Crenshaw. He's out. And you got to remember, the Crenshaw has been on a shit list for a while because they didn't even let him go on the Codels because Secret Service was having a problem trying to keep him under control because he's getting drunk and hanging out and being belligerent and those sort of things. Remember what he tried? He said, if I was Rdoc or Carlson, I'd kick his ass. Remember that? Yeah.
I Patch McCain.
Yeah.
One.
I Willie McCain went down.
In other words, 2 Democrats gone. No, wait, he was he was a Democrat.
Yeah.
So the whole Ken Paxton and Corden things are going to have a little bit of an issue. I think it's going to go to a runoff. Evidently, somebody in the White House came out last night and said basically along the lines that they were going to back Cornyn. That was not true. Trump come out with that tweet shortly thereafter and asked one of them to step down, basically pointing at Ken Paxton, the Attorney General of Texas, to step down and let Cornyn go. Because that kind of ties into Thule in the Senate over there because he wants to keep his buddy Cornyn on the list, right? Well, Trump's like, well, we got Paxton. Oh, I need Cornyn. Well, I want Savac. You want him? I want the Savac in. So we'll see how much Thune wants to actually keep control of the Senate. So deals are being made, stuff is being pushed around. So we'll get the answer to that on a runoff, or if one of them steps down, we'll see. Oh, by the way, Paxton spent $4 million, and I think the other side, they spent $80 million.
Damn. Crazy.
It's like the most expensive Senate race in the United States history, as long as we're out there. We also got a new Brandon Grill over here. This gentleman did win.
The left's open borders were, I think most stingingly, a part of a deliberate policy to influence our elections, even at the expense.
So he's a freshman. He's coming in. He's going to go through the ringer. So always research these people. Do you know who I found something very interesting about this guy that everybody missed? Anybody want to take a guess?
No idea.
You a sports guy?
Nope.
Huh.
His father-in-law's Dinesh D'Souza. Yeah,
What?
shit that you learn. I'm dead serious.
Well,
So
keep
I
the
always
son
go
of
and
a
look
job
to see
there,
who these people are, and that was the top thing on the list. And I was like, wow, sweet, Texas dude, Dinesh D'Souza. Yeah, we don't have to worry about him too much. So you might go a little bit, but yeah. So, Cyberspeed is saying it right there too. Over there. There was a gentleman rolling around with weaponry. He was going hunting and fishing, just like this, but they did go ahead and arrest him. Just to make sure everything is totally kosher or whatever, since he was just right outside the convention area where Paxton would announced his winning of not or whatever. Nobody won. We're going to find out here in a little bit. So, yeah, that guy showed up.
Yeah, usually you don't put like the get up and stuff like until you're like out in the woods would be my guess. You know, I don't think you usually put all that stuff on ahead of time, especially in like hot Texas.
Fishing. Look, he's got camo hands on. He's going fishing.
He's fishing.
With the Keats headphones and stuff. Hands up. Can't breathe.
Hands up, don't shoot.
All right, here, read this, Tron.
New poll. Support for the Save America Act. All Americans, 71%. Republicans, 91%. Independents, 69%. And look at this, guys. Democrats, 50%. Let's go.
So trying to. So at least 71% in the new polls, because we were seeing it a little bit higher, a week or so ago for that. And then the war happened. So little people either didn't show up to vote or they're a little mad here at this point. But we'll see when we get done with the end of the story here. Thune wants to send everybody. Go ahead. Did you want to make a comment? I'm sorry.
Just saying it's racist, Hulk. The fact they ask people for IDs, it's racist. Damn racist. But you need 2 forms of ID and a birth certificate or whatever. So security to go friggin' shovel snow in New York City. Like, that's the type of stuff, like, it's big flashing neon light. Sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, so Thune is playing the game over here that we don't have time for the SAVE Act, and we're still defunding DHS because we're still holding them hostage. So Congress isn't getting special escorts through the airports anymore. You got to walk in from your luxury limo and across the whole courtyard into your plane by yourself. You won't be escorted anymore because we don't have money for that. But they're going to go home and go on vacation for a little bit. So I don't know what they're going to do and still do the whole pro forma and basically put everything on pause for a week. Have fun, guys.
Got an idea. How about we get rid of all these friggin' stiffs that ain't doing crap for us? That'd be a good idea, huh?
So that's what's going on with Thune in this. But I really think they're trying to put pressure on Thune for the whole Cornyn thing, if he stays or not. Because Trump, I don't know, I haven't gone and looked in the last couple hours if Ken Paxton's dropped out or if he endorsed either one of those two. Because last night, the one I looked, he hadn't endorsed anybody. So I just find that interesting.
Holtz passed away.
Huh?
I'm looking up President Trump's True Social. He posted Lou Holtz, the sportscaster, passed away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I want to throw this in here. Inside scoop.
You want the inside scoop on Ken Paxton versus John Cornyn and President Trump's endorsement?
Yes.
President Trump is going to endorse John Cornyn.
That didn't happen.
He's making a deal with John Thune that if he endorses Cornyn, Thune will get the SAVE Act passed through. Now, the SAVE Act is instrumental to saving America. It's called the Save America Act for a reason, right? But boy, it's a gut punch to think Ken Paxton is going to bow out of the race. This after Ken Paxton tweeted he would step down if they pass the SAVE Act.
That did happen last night, which nobody's moved the bar whatsoever. Because Ken Paxton did come out and said, I'll step down if you guarantee that you're going to pass the SAVE Act and come out and do it. I'll step down right now. That didn't happen. Everybody went on vacation. So, yeah, sorry, we can't vote now.
Sorry, gotta go. Bye.
So that's where everybody's at now, and I think it's like May or something, or end of April or May when they're going to do the next runoff between the two itself. So that's where they sit with that. Congress decided to bring out a couple of things right here. You could take a crack at this first. I'm sorry, SCOTUS, not Congress.
All righty. New York Young Republicans. SCOTUS rules that 6-3 that the New York Democrat redistricting map, which would have eliminated the only Republican congressional district in New York City, is likely unconstitutional, as we all knew. Congratulations to Staten Island and Rep. That guy or girl, I don't know, Nicole Maliotakis.
Yeah. So since they're going to wipe out the entire district, they said that's unconstitutional. California got their thing is because we didn't do all of them. We just did some of them, but we screwed the Republicans in California, which is interesting things happening in California here shortly. So I ran by one of the most interesting clips from the Supreme Court I've ever seen because they are now hearing the argument that the people that smoke marijuana can't own guns.
Oh, yeah.
But I find this very interesting. The words that they use is called habitual drunkard. It's actually a congressional term. So as the quote goes here, 8 shots of whiskey a day only made you an occasional drunkard. To be a habitual drunkard, you had to double that. James Madison reportedly drank a pint of whiskey every day. I'm just going to play a couple of minutes of this as these woke people are trying to argue this against since you smoked a little bit of weed, then you can't own a weapon is what they're basically going to, or anybody with doing any illicit drugs or anything like that, but specifically marijuana. Here we go.
Well, Ms. Harris,
Second.
on that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to, before we lose track of what Justice Sotomayor is talking about, one can ask whether the habitual drunkard statutes are sufficiently, the how and why is sufficiently analogous. One could also ask, though, more basically, whether this defendant would qualify as a habitual user. And I want to explore that before we lose track of it. Habitual drunkard, the American Temperance Society back in the day said 8 shots of whiskey a day only made you an occasional drunkard. We have to remember the founding era if you want to invoke the founding era. To be a habitual drunkard, you had to do double that, okay? John Adams took a tankard of hard cider with his breakfast every day. James Madison reportedly drank a pint of whiskey every day. Thomas Jefferson said he wasn't much of a user of alcohol. He only had 3 or 4 glasses of wine a night. Okay? Are they all habitual drunkards who would be properly disarmed for life under your theory?
No, and again, I think this is something...
Okay, if they're not, then what do we know about Mr. Hamani? We know he uses marijuana a few times, about every other day. That's all we have in the record, right?
That's all we have, and I'm
Okay,
not troubled by it.
so we don't even know the quantity of how much he uses every other day. What if he took 1 gummy bear with a medical prescription in Colorado? Well, you may not even need a medical prescription. You don't even need that anymore. But let's say he had one to help him sleep every other day. Disarm him for life?
Well, no, it's not disarm for life, and here's what's going
Potentially.
on.
Would that be enough under your theory? 1 gummy bear every other night with a medical prescription.
So I think you'd have a potential Rahave problem, but I will accept the hypothetical. So let me just deal with
I think
what's
the answer
an
is
unlawful
yes, under the government's theory.
Yes, under our theory, but let me give you an explanation of 2 parts of this that are important. One, you asked about how do you tell who's an unlawful user? How is it more defined than a habitual drunkard? I think it's a lot clearer.
Is it? I mean,
yes.
the government has not been able to define what a user is. I mean, it is said at various points that it's someone who's used any illegal drug in the past year, right? It's said, ATF now wants to say a pattern. And you argue for habitual, which of course conflates the second half of the statute, which talks about an addict, which is different than a user, and an addict is an habitual user, it's defined as. So you're kind of conflating the 2 parts of the statute there. So tell me how it's so clear.
Okay, a couple of things to help you with this. One, I'm going to set aside the forfeiture issue, but I would like to return to that later. Just deal with the substance. With respect to who is an unlawful user, the Court of Appeals are uniform in adopting the same view as us, which is it is a habitual user in context.
The ATF disagrees.
No, they absolutely do not.
They say a pattern.
let me be very clear about the distinction here. There is a distinction between what is the statutory definition of an unlawful user, and everyone has always agreed, including ATF, that that means habitual or frequent. And on the other hand, how do you prove that? What type of evidence is sufficient to show beyond a reasonable doubt, or for purposes of background checks for ATF purposes, that you in fact do that? So
okay,
that
so
is a
circles
discrepancy.
us back down to you would qualify as an habitual user, one gummy bear every other night.
Absolutely, and here's why. The check on
So there you go, folks. It went around in circles for a little bit, but I just wanted to get you into that a little bit because a drunkard would be somebody that would be falling down in the street, and they don't want that in Supreme Court or Congress or anything like that. So that's why they came up with an actual how much they could drink. So it just.
Was this more about weed or is it more about drinking?
No, they were using the drunkard because it's the only thing that they've got any sort of court cases on. So they were telling people you can't be totally drunk. You can only drink this much if you're going to go to Congress and do government stuff. You can't drink more than that.
And it doesn't make any sense either, too, because it's like, well, all right, say if you got a gun in your house, right? And then I'm going to go to the store and I get some whiskey, right? Pound some whiskey. I get all pissed off. And, you know the difference between people that drink too much alcohol versus somebody that smokes too much marijuana. You have varying differences of what will happen to that person. The marijuana person is going to get happy, and then they're going to want to sit there and pretty much do nothing and pass out. The person that's drinking is going to get happy. Then they maybe get a little sad, and then they get a little angry, and it's bad. So it's a weird situation. It's like, well, they smoke this, but anybody can go down to the liquor store. So if you have a medical marijuana license, they tell you. I think it's in Rhode Island too. If you have a medical marijuana license, you're not allowed to have a handgun as well.
And that's completely. Imagine, guys, when does someone ever smoke a marijuana cigarette and have the desire to go out and cause crime? All that does is lead you to go to Taco Bell, 7-Eleven, and then you go back home and Netflix and chill. Okay, so again, don't touch our weapons. And if anything, if everyone's high, they should encourage it. They should encourage it. No one's going to commit crimes if everyone's just having a good time, eating, having barbecues, having parties, not inviting any Supreme Court justices whatsoever. They don't know how to have fun, and we don't need them. But just do what you do.
I'm going to murder myself a 12-pack of tacos from Taco Bell.
Watch out. I'll kill a sleeve of Oreos, bro.
The only thing I want to kill is some ice cream or something. You know what I mean? So it's a varying thing. So, yeah, it's a big-time difference. And Hulk, I have one of those little mistake errors on a thing, so I got to do a little commercial here for Rumble Wallet. So you might be able to as well. Or you want me to break off from you?
No. Let me jiggle the handle.
So, pardon, guys. This is how we're paying my bills here. As
Rumble Wallet. Yes, I could do that one then. Is that the one you want to do?
Yes, sir.
I'm clicking.
Absolutely. Let's hope it works. Yay!
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
Yeah, and as you guys just saw exhibited just a little while ago, Hulk got one a donation through the Rumble Wallet. So guys, here's a little inside scoop that many creators are talking about behind the scenes. It's actually one of the reasons I'm using Rumble. They made a way to super chat creators so we get paid immediately and without any fees. YouTube and Twitch take up to 50% of the fees when you tip creators, and this method takes none. That's right, the platform takes 0 fees. I keep nearly 100% of what you send me. Nearly, I would say it is 100%. You can super chat with Bitcoin, Tether, USD, or even Tether Gold stablecoins. The tip will show up directly in the Rumble chat, which I'll do my best to read. Of course I will. All you need to do is download the Rumble Wallet on the App Store and send the tips to your favorite creators. You can head over to wallet.rumble.com, or you can download the app directly from the app stores. Seriously, what an amazing way to get rid of the middleman and help the creator economy. Shout out to Rumble for making this a disruptive technology. Boom.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
There we go. Oh, I forgot to change the background. Damn it. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the efforts there. So we can start getting into a little bit of the weird Epstein stuff.
Yes.
You ready for a little bit of that, chat?
About the vote yesterday, Hulk. We're gonna get.
Wait, Dal said no double stack Oreos. Is that true?
No double stack?
Yeah, I can't do those either.
Oh no.
What were you saying, by the way?
Well, you were talking about the Epstein stuff. We also had that vote go through that they're all trying to block.
We'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
We'll get to that. That's our punchline. As we get here, you could take a crack at that then, Mr. Space Shot.
New Slimeball Secretary Howard Lutnick to voluntarily testify before the House Oversight Committee over ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Quote, in the coming weeks, Axios. I mean, dude, he said he didn't know him, right, at first?
Well, the other interesting thing, and hopefully I'm correct about this, but Wexner gave 2 houses to Epstein. They were side by side. And then evidently Lutnick moved into the next door. Huh. Thought that was a kind of an interesting pattern there. No shit. Both of them. And sold one to him. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but just read the tagline.
Epstein was allowed an unmonitored phone call to Belarus before his, quote, death. Really? This is new for me, dude.
Yeah, it's just weird stuff that I'm just coming through and finding little bits and pieces. 1 second.
Yeah, before he, quote, died, escaped, was murdered, whatever have you.
And how funny, Space Shot, they asked Bill Clinton if he thinks Epstein... I mean, what kind of... this is just absurd at this point. Let's just get on with the show. Let's roll out the red carpet and hit the credits, right? Man.
What a perv, too. Do you see him looking at the pictures and then his lawyer snatches it out of his hands and he's got that look like... You can tell he's, reliving everything he did. And, he's got this, little giddy look on his face. Oh, my God, you're, arousing this old man.
Oh, yeah. What else do we got for you here? You can take a crack at this. I waited until he showed up on this thing and I knew it was true.
Oh boy. All right. Epstein suppressed cold fusion. No crap. These emails say Epstein personally met with the head of the Mormon church and argued against funding it. His buddy, Al Seckel, was telling Google it's pseudoscience. Meanwhile, the government has secretly solved fusion. Unreal.
So, I mean, they went over to the government and canceled the funding and discredited the guy and the whole thing. They had this whole email chain that they went through and basically got this guy sent off. What year was this? Was it show? 2009. Huh. So this is him talking. Regarding cold fusion, I killed pawns years ago. Killing the idea, not so much the person itself. So, it's just interesting. I'm going to drop this if anybody wants to spend time and go through some of this stuff because he spent a lot of time in the intellectual corners looking for people because obviously he's into the whole, what the hell do they call that? Transhumanism type thing and, propagating his own type of whatever with all the weird, crazy white people stuff they were doing down there in New Mexico. Over there with Zorro Ranch. So just find this interesting that he influences these groups and then takes them out if you're not going to be on the right team, I guess.
Dude, do you guys, and little trip down memory lane here, do you guys remember when we were covering the drops and stuff and there was this family that got killed in Mexico and then it had some connections to the Mormons and stuff? That was
John Kerry's grandfather's family that was down there. They moved down there in the late 1800s or whatever. So that's when they got all pushed out of Utah and, you can't do any of this Mormonism stuff. So we're going to go cruise down to Mexico and hang out there. And then they were doing their own little thing down there. And then it seemed like the cartels got pissed off because they're taking some of their business. And I'm not saying they were doing anything bad. But yeah, they all got shot up. They shot up an entire carload of these particular family members that had been there generations on that family land that's there. And there's the whole things with little kids and stuff like that also in there too. But I'm staying away from that.
Fun stuff down memory lanes. I mean, things I remember, right? Just Mormon popped into my head and I was like, yeah, I remember there was some kind of connection to the Mormons. Yep.
Mitt Romney. That's right.
True.
Yep. True Heart. Thank you. That was Mitt Romney's family. I think I said that. I hope I didn't
you said John Kerry, but I was thinking it was him too. I'm like, wait, him too?
No, yeah. Mitt Romney. Thank you. Mitt Romney. That was that last story. Here's this one for you. Take a crack at that.
A FOIA document catches J.B. Pritzker asking Clinton's team to keep their correspondence off government servers. No shit. This is a Clinton Foundation world accused of selling. This is a Clinton Foundation world accused of selling government access for donations. What was so important? It couldn't leave a paper trail. Oh, let me guess. Something highly legal.
Go ahead. You got 10 minutes.
Legal. Totally legal. Everything's legal. I mean, of course, whatever crimes and whatever they didn't want people to know, obviously. Uma, JB, I'm here at APAC. Oh, big surprise. Be on the dais when Hillary speaks tomorrow. Lots of deep concern at Obama, even all the Dems here. But lots of positive feeling about Hillary, despite last week's back and forth. She'll be among friends when she comes. I know it seems obvious, but during the presentation tomorrow, I suggest focusing on Iran, and Iran. I'm assisting with Hillary's introduction. Can you send me the 3 most helpful pro-Israel intro points about Hillary? Got the Mogan David Adam item here. I want to focus on more applause points. Is it Iran? What a coincidence, dude, huh?
Dude, the shit that I find about this Epstein stuff that keeps leaking out, and they got another 75,000 something or other coming. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but do you guys want to talk about this for a minute?
Yeah, very interesting. That was weird, right? Like, what was she asking about Gilgamesh for? And the funny part is that it's all documented in a government server right here. As you see the PDF viewer, it says, Donatro El Sanagar, requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body and location of the buried Nephilim. Like, as if we're talking about, like, hey, pass me the salt and pepper over here. The buried Nephilim, Hulk. Yeah, can we get the location? Yeah, we need to close this one. What in the world? But she answered. She didn't ask for the stuff. She wasn't lying. She had somebody else ask. Hello? Anybody there?
Sorry, I'm trying to eat some food.
Oh, he's having a sandwich.
Like, what the hell?
Nephilim, the Gilgamesh, there's always something for everyone. And like you said, man, the release of these files, this information goes beyond just trafficking. And you know, we're kind of put in a position where not only us, we the people, but, you know, on the right and the conservatives, and most likely, you know, Q people as well, but the ones on the left, everyday normies are looking at this stuff after a hard day's work, watching their money get shipped off to leering centers and autist centers. And, you know, so again, this is going to hit everyone, and this is why we're completely going to take it in 26 midterms, and we're going to look bright for 2028 and continue to hit the ground running. This is showcasing an entire spotlight on this criminal network, bringing it down through RICO, and again, just like the mob, just like Godfather, and almost sort of like a scenario where you got to do it all at once. Whitey Bulger in Boston, that whole story. Think big picture and think international. Think you got to go a little bit other than America. I mean, 8-10 years ago, we thought, yes, Hillary Clinton's going to get arrested tomorrow. Oh, it's not tomorrow. It's going to be next week. Oh, it's not next week. It's going to be 2 weeks from now. And here we are, 8, 9, 10-year deltas. It's going to come on the right time. It's going to come on God's time. And you know, the ability to have access to all this information openly when we were doing this behind the scenes is refreshing. It's nice that everyday Americans can see how deep this goes.
All right, what else I got for you? Oh yeah, that was strange. Here, space shot.
Durka. Epstein. Yeah, and I'll ask you after this. Epstein, 5 weeks before his suicide, he emailed himself a 48-name elite list labeled, quote, for Bannon Steve, Prince Andrew, Peter Thiel, Chuck Schumer, Rothschild, and more. Should I read some of these? Because, yeah, might as well. Mandelson, Barnaby Summers Watson, Axel Botstein, Karam whatever, Pritzker, Edelman, I don't know if that's Julian, Set Lloyd, Martin Novak, Minsky, Tata Suskind, Strominger Krause, Hopkins, Randall, Kosselin, Gardner Gates, Thiel, Hoffman, Hoy, Sinofsky, Sheldrake, Sulzberg, Jess Staley, Joshka Bach, Joy Ito, HBJ, Hunter, Berg, Miro, Anas, Rafat, Sultan, Nathan Feigenbaum, Ramachandran, Goldberg. I wonder if that's Goldberg. Damasio, Shristkas, Brockman, Hillis, Kaufman, Seligman, Gould, Sachs, John Kerry, George Mitchell, Mandelbrot, Chomsky, Barack, Zagat, Nathan, Brian Green, Yao, E.O. Wilson, Prince Andrew, no longer a prince, Jagland? That sounds weird. Like Mick Jagger, maybe. Clinton, Travis Pastrana, Richardson, Leahy, Pat Leahy, Jarecki, Chucky Schumer, Rainieri, Keith, Wahid, Wahid, Mongolia, Gambat Ehud, Jack Lang Woody, Churkin, Sergey, Rumler, Weingarten, Amabani, Rocksild, Dersh, I think that's Dershowitz, Ken Starr with a K at the end, and then Karp, that Alex Karp, Dubai, Castro, Popel Queen, Prez, King, PM, Mandelson, Balair, that's Blair, he spelt wrong, Mete, Middlefart, Gergen, Melusine, Margarita, Ovitz, Barack again, Mabuto, Khashoggi, Rockefeller. Wait, what Khashoggi's still alive, dude? Khashoggi and Rockefeller.
Well, there's two, the father and son over there, but I just found it interesting. Khashoggi's on this one in 2019.
Oh, that's
so I don't know which one he's talking about.
Interesting. And so my question to you guys is, do you think the stuff that's going to be released this weekend is just going to be kind of in line, or do you think it might be a little worse? Like, and I'll take your guys' opinion. Tron, like, what do you think? What do you think about the stuff that's coming out this week?
Well, think about it, dude. We just had the stages set from Elon. We have the stages set on tomorrow's Delta, and then we have the release of more files. So why not go, further and kind of hint at the idea that, we have more, we have it all. I mean, remember that drop? They allowed phones in. How cool would it be to not get, Epstein file photos, but go a little deeper into the investigation, and maybe we'll get some of those photographs of people coming in and on the island. Maybe we'll get a little bit of that submarine story. That hasn't really entered the mix, I don't believe, is her connection to the submarine and how they trafficked not only the people, but the children, and also how did they bring the people to the island. So, we're at this point where it's beyond any sort of manifest of who went to the island. Again, you go there, that doesn't necessarily incriminate you. It doesn't help your situation, but it doesn't necessarily incriminate you. So now we got to kind of get to that point where there's more to this. We have to see more resignations. We have to see more panic, not only in America, but on the international stage. So I'm expecting anything, man. UFOs, maybe even the Zorro Ranch connection, how they were making a baby factory, eugenics. I mean, again, the whole plan beyond the 16-year plan is right here in these files. So I'm ready for it all. Nothing's really going to surprise me, but let's get some more names. Right?
Who would have thought that Bannon would have turned into a Corsi? Buy my book.
I never liked the guy back then. And again, when he sold tickets to the wall and he's going to build a wall, I'm like, how's he actually doing this? They're going to let him do this? And then, he got into a little bit of trouble. But to conspire against our president, whether it's 2019, 2015, or even before that, you don't do it ever, or in 2026 especially, Patriots. So again, boss is going to lead the way, and anyone that counter messages him is a shill at this point. They can't work any other way.
Yeah, exactly. Where else are we going? I want to throw this out here. This is entertaining.
Authorities in the US are working to identify just who is behind a series of Jeffrey Epstein Walk of Shame stickers that have appeared near the White House. Designed to look like Hollywood Walk of Fame stars, the stickers name politicians, celebrities, and business figures allegedly linked to the late sex offender.
Just some small little international little clip over there played on USA Today, and the United States government, or nobody in social media picked this thing up. I would have loved to seen some American people pick this up. I would have loved to see more of these things out there. So if you could find more of these clips, I would love to see some more.
Yeah, you see a lot of this stuff like out of Australia and like UK, the Mirror and stuff like that. But yeah, that is great, dude. And I didn't even know that was happening here. So that's awesome. Don't let these people, and that's what I was saying before too. We as a society in the whole world need to be louder about this stuff, because whether you got proof and you can prove that these people did stuff, we know what they did, and that's why people should not be able to walk down the streets. Violence,
exactly. What do we got there? Oh, you could read this. Start at the top.
What's happening in Manhattan? JP Morgan selected a new Epstein. Oh no.
I thought it was funny. Just like there's smoke or something over there, just making fun of the whole thing.
Isn't that how? Yeah.
Yeah, they picked a new pope, but it's a new Epstein for New York. They're going to see him tomorrow. They're going to slip him right in the blue dress and go ahead and print out a new photo. What else do we got? Yeah, here you go, Mr. Space Shot. You can go ahead and keep this out there, as Congress all voted pretty much unanimously to totally get rid of all the Epstein stuff, release it. The president signed it, and we're going through and disclosing all this stuff, and this comes out.
Gotta love it. 357 to 65 to block the release of congressional sexual misconduct and harassment reports. I mean, dude, how many reports do you think, and how much money do these people spend? Probably a lot is my guess. And I think I had something bookmarked, but was it Mace, I think? Mace came out. She says, rhinos in Congress had blocked her motion to subpoena Ilhan Omar. Okay, so that's a different thing I'm thinking
Yes,
about.
that is true.
Republicans.
The swamp protects itself. I mean, I don't know what to do. And we can't get the SAVE Act. Yep. I mean, it is what it is. But just remember, all the Epstein stuff, good. It's all somebody else. But as soon as they want to release any of the reports about, how many times that we paid off Adam Schiff's victims, it's just interesting. Some of the stuff we've seen. So from Kid Loves Productions. Yeah, exactly, dude. It's just crazy. I ran by this. You want to take a crack at this for everybody?
Interesting that it came out in Hillary's deposition that Huma Abedin, whose ex-husband, Anthony Weiner, was convicted of sex crimes with a minor, helped Hillary prepare for her closed-door hearing about her own husband's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, who was also convicted of sex crimes with minors. What a guy. What a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, ugh.
It's just quite a circle. It's really interesting. And now she's married Soros.
Married, yep.
I think. Yeah.
Married.
So I picked up some testimony here, and you know me. I got these for you right here. Let's get this one first.
Typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well.
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm done.
That special lighting. What happened? I thought she got that lighting, dude. What happened to the makeup artist?
It's a great makeup. They did absolutely 100%. This is her being mad and running out of the room because the photo showed up online. So just wanted to make a little fun of that.
Like Fox, you did this because it's in the thing behind it and under the name there. Fox, dude, that's really good though. That was like seamless. And what a wretched woman too. You hear her? This is ridiculous. Oh my God, I almost feel a little bad for Bill. Almost.
And again, Nancy Mace's questioning of the whole thing that they ran through, I thought it was pretty much atrocious. The way that she was running it, slow down, get the point across, then go from there. It just, I don't know, just kind of rattle them all out. Let's throw a couple of these out here just really quick.
Are you aware of any files that were on Anthony Weiner's laptop in a folder that was titled insurance, life insurance, with a zip file titled frazzle?
I'd like the chairman's ruling. Is this within the scope? Is this within the scope, Mr. Chairman?
If the chairman rules it, it's not within the scope.
Mr. Chairman, based on what you said in the public hearing, is this within the scope?
We can go off the record for a moment.
Mr. Chairman, is this?
So pretty much it was a lot of that. There, aliens, frazzle drip. What else did we have? The whole Epstein things. They never knew her. Those things. Even though go ahead.
Yeah, so fascinating though that again the HRC video, the insurance file that we learned about many years ago, and to watch it actually come in through fruition on this world stage as a movie. Again, filming, the lighting, everything, cutting out during this testimony, and how funny that all she did was mention Anthony Weiner's laptop life insurance in a file, and then all of a sudden, oh, we got to do this and that, and is this really appropriate? And that, again, drawing attention to it. These lawyers, whoever these people are, I mean, they're not running their best, man. I mean, last week we saw Lex Wexner just going down memory lane again. Grandpa has a Werther's original. It's time to sit down and have a talk, Grandpa, right? So this is just fascinating that we get to see this. Did it come too late? Again, this is all on the timetable of DJT and most importantly, America. If America falls, the world falls. Everything's connected. So I'm enjoying this show, and we need more of it. We need a lot more of that.
Yeah, speaking of that, we'll just go here, memory lane, like you're talking about that here. This is Mr. Clinton looking at said photos that were part of the deposition, so he's reviewing the photos. This is his lawyer to the right.
Yeah, she's bad. And guys, he's literally leering. Okay?
He's like, wait.
Joke about leering centers. This is how you leer. You just learn.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Hold on. Give me another minute.
He does that old person thing where they lick their finger to turn a page.
Like, look at those boobies.
Okay. He's shaking like Michael. Well,
he's like, oh yeah.
He's just laughing. He's
Mr.
like,
President, we have about
time.
5 minutes remaining in the majority's first hour, so I just want to ask you some questions related to.
We didn't get an answer. That was the whole thing with that one there, but might as well throw this one out. Did I grab it?
Public health deteriorating. Dude, did they actually mention the word frazzle drip in that video when she freaked out? Or was it just the insurance policy?
Frazzle drip was just invented by Shell Sliders, Anons. Yeah, just, I don't know how it actually got to that. And even the whole face thing, like that was just manufactured too.
I'm going to throw this out too, so.
Can you please just get me into the witness protection program? I swear I'll tell you all about the island, how my wife killed Epstein and Bill Gates' ugly titties and all that. Anything y'all want to know, I'll tell you all about it. I can't go back to that crazy bitch, y'all. She don't kill me. She kills people.
Yes, the Arkansas. Y'all, that's funny.
Please.
Man.
So yeah, I had to go there. I had to totally go there. So yeah. Also got this one in here too.
Sexy.
Since Bill was eyeing her a lot, just to throw it out there that she community noted her own thing because she retweeted this. Oh, I forgot to grab it, but she community noted.
She did say that it's not real or whatever, but it's like she's just drawing attention to herself. She wishes it was real.
I mean, it was pretty good because Bill Clinton hadn't lost a step, and she made a snide remark about it, and he kind of snickered at that, and then this is when this came out. So I was just like, absolutely funny. So yeah, I mean, we're still got funny things going on. We did have a little bit of testimony over there. Tim Tebow made it up an appearance over in Congress itself with the red dot map out here. I'll let you hear what he has to say about it.
Every one of those red dot maps is a unique IP address that is downloaded, shared, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And that's just a 6-month screenshot of it. And there are over 338,000 on there. There's blue dots on there. You can't really see them, but the blue ones are the ones that are under investigation.
In a sea of red.
Isn't that a problem of what we're talking?
That's pretty damn crazy. The thing he threw up right here. So all these little blue dots you see, I'd say maybe 30 or 40 of them there at the most are investigations into it. Everybody else is using it.
Those super dark areas are like, does that just means way more red there too? So like kind of in the New England area there, when you're heading up to like New Jersey and New York where it's really thick, and that's bad, dude. That many people sharing that stuff, 300,000 people in the United States, dude. Knock knock.
Probably a lot more.
Bang bang. That's what you need.
Yeah, I checked your house. You're good. You're clear, Mr. Space Shot.
Jeez, how could you see in that friggin'? Look at it, dude. It's everywhere. Disgusting people.
What else do we got for you? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
AutoPen.
Yeah. AutoPen got shelved. Here, you can read that for everybody.
Julie Kelly says, for those upset about this, as far as I know now, this is not the fault of Pam Bondi or Jeanine Pirro. This stems from an understanding that a D.C. grand jury, which sits for months, will not bring any indictments sought by the Trump DOJ. Activist groups in D.C. have coached potential grand jury members about how to issue no true bills in indictments sought by the Trump DOJ. This represents an active operation to sabotage criminal investigations against not just elected officials, but those who assaulted or impeded federal officers trying to enforce immigration laws, and the vaunted, quote, rule of law. I once sat in a DC courtroom and heard the woman next to me brag how her boyfriend, he was clearly not a Trump supporter, was picked to serve on a DC grand jury. Another time, I was in the security line for DC courthouse and I heard a woman say it was one of many times she had been called to jury duty. Jury recycling, both trial and grand jury. It's a massive obstacle to this DOJ getting anything done in a city of almost all Democrats. No one understands the brazen politicking of the judicial system in D.C., which is another reason why Republicans should shutter the D.C. federal court system. By the way, I asked the Trump DOJ months ago how many no true bills were issued during the J6 prosecution. Never got an answer. And again, this is really highlighting for me, again, guys, that system's broken. That system's broken. That organization is broken. The whole thing is broken.
Exactly. Even though they could get, 3,000 subpoenas for all the people that were going through the January 6th thing, easily. They went right through that, no problem. But to come up with this type of evidence and, come forth and spend the time, and they're still shooting it down. The swamp exists. It's hard to get anybody prosecuted. I mean, look how what Durham did. Tried to get Clinton and the rest of those guys in there, and it never happened. The only thing she got was an FCC fine.
It's all coming. These people are funded to be able to do these classes and courses, but they have cut the funding. So I guess maybe it'll have to wait a little bit till kind of go forward, so that tap kind of wears out. And I'm gonna need 30 seconds quick. I'm just gonna run up to the bathroom quick.
No problem there. Rdoc is MIA for tonight. He'll be back next week, but thank you for asking, everybody out there. What else do we got? Well, more information is coming out on the Medicare fraud that's found in Minnesota, and they came out with $9 billion. I go, oh, $9 billion? Well, how much does the state use? Oh, they use $18 billion. Oh, half of it's fraud. That's a pretty crazy number to come out with in the last year that they've spent over there. So I haven't seen any arrests, and nobody's coming to bring forth any more of the information, but they know how much they've got, and they're zeroing it in, but I'm still waiting for answers. But yeah, half of the stuff in Medicaid fraud inside Minnesota was fraud.
Isn't that amazing? It comes from everywhere. Medicaid, it comes from the Leering centers, it comes from autism, and where else does it come from? And most importantly, once they showcase Minnesota on the spotlight, like Boss said, all the other states are up for grabs, the Chicagos, the New York Cities, Californias, and whatnot. So this is a good thing. And again, timing. When's it going to fall down? And again, guys, that bullet that we missed the last election, thank goodness, by the hand of God, we didn't have Kamala Harris and a Tim Walz running this show. And again, bless, guys. Bless completely. So hang in there. It's all going to happen.
With an Ilhan Omar in the back being Speaker of the House. That would have been great. Nancy Pelosi's old job.
Yeah. They would have changed our flag just like they did in Minnesota. That's what they would have done to our.
That would have been so bad, dude. The Islamic takeover. And we talked about for a long time how many of the higher end White House staffers, communication people were part of the Iranian government. And that had come out. They were in there for a couple of years. So we had no idea what was going on there at that point. What else do we got for you? Oh, yeah. We got to throw her out here because she said this. And then again, this is the same thing John Solomon's been feeding us, but let's go for it.
This is a Fox News alert. Saturday in America continuing to track fraud allegations all across the country. We've seen it in Maine. We brought you some questions about some funding that allegedly was misused in Maine. Those were private donations. Then California. And now, here's the next state, Massachusetts. Now, the state's auditor just released a report revealing massive fraud within programs like Mass Help, the Department of Transitional Assistance, and the Department of Early Education and Care. These are all programs that provide social services to the Massachusetts community. And as you can see, there was over $4 million in fraud uncovered in the state's SNAP program alone. Another $1.3 million connected to the state's Mass Health program, and hundreds of thousands of dollars found in other state programs. We're also learning of 22 civil recoveries that reclaimed nearly $800,000 in fraudulent overpayments. Now, the total amount of fraud in fiscal year 2025 alone was nearly $12 million. That's in 1 year. That's your money.
Bucket.
Now, as all this fraud is being exposed, President Trump is reportedly planning to
Yeah, so there's supposed to be some big things that are supposed to be coming down the pike, is what I'm hearing in regards to some of this other fraud that's coming out. This is kind of a new information thing. So we'll see if this holds true, if they're going to come forth and actually prosecute people. We've seen very, very little of that in the public sense that we've seen, except for me just passing of some of the Somalis out there running restaurants and home care and whatnot there, but still waiting for more. These are the ones that we got caught off already. I went and looked. Somebody had posted the list. So it says Trump administration is canceling $8 billion for green and news scam funding per Doug Vaught of the OMB. So this is another thing that's coming out, that they're all losing funding for anything that they're going to do with EPA related stuff. So this still brings up the whole question. I've been thinking about the whole California smog stuff, because I just had to get a smog on my 2001 vehicle here, which passed through flying colors. It's got over 250,000 miles on it. Yay. But we might not have to do that every year, every other year. Maybe just get rid of the whole thing and do safety inspections or whatever. So this is interesting, because the EPA rules that had just come out, they basically got rid of Obama's Green New Initiative. That whole thing of making carbon weapon and all that kind of crap they're doing with CO, all that's gone. And your model year of 2027 vehicles should be phenomenal. I'm hearing Ford is coming back with an 800 horsepower truck. And we're coming back with some big shit. So all the little big manufacturers are putting, even Dodge uncanceled their big stuff. They said, no, we're bringing back our big giant motors and everything like that. And then moved a $15 billion plant from Canada to, I think it's Ohio.
Nice. Bring it back, baby. That's what he wants. You need manufacturing back here in the United States. And, even my business, Hulk, my old business of like the core supplying, which was, auto parts and stuff, we had one of the biggest remanufacturers in the United States, probably the world, was known as A1 Cardone, and they were in Philadelphia, and we used to do a crap load of business. And guess what they did? Well, they decided to break everything down, and their business was like 2 city blocks. It was huge. And they said, yeah, you know what? We're going to go over the border to Mexico to save some money. And so, yeah, they systematically destroyed manufacturing in the United States decades ago.
So huge changes coming out from those guys in the EPA, and I can't remember the guy who runs that over there at the EPA side. Brain's a little foggy today.
Zeldin, is it? Lee?
Yeah, Lee Zeldin. There you go. He's over there. They made their big announcement. So those are good things that are happening on that side.
Yeah.
What else do we got for you? Okay, here's another thing that they've come out, and Trump's said this numerous times, that he wanted the AI farms to basically supply their own power. Elon Musk went and bought himself a natural gas plant and then moved it so he could use it. That was his plan. Small modular nuclear reactors are being fed out into areas for testing, but he is basically telling these guys, you have to secure your own power. And remember, Microsoft bought a big chunk of 20-year use of 3 Mile Island exclusively just to feed their server farm. So they're planning, and I'm starting to see more of these data centers start to buy up, not retail, but commercial buildings. Because commercial buildings, office buildings, they already have power. They're already connected. And some of these are starting to rise up in power because they can't get it from the power company for 4 years. But I can go buy myself an office building that's got power. So interesting things. What else do we got? That's the whole Trump thing. U.S. authorized American airline subsidies to operate directly to flights in Venezuela. So yeah, you could fly to Venezuela. We had the whole.
Safe to go on vacation now. We can do,
we had our first official meeting with the president, president in charge. We haven't nuked them or missiled them for anything like that. They're behaving just fine. So this is the first time, what they say, in how many years?
He's like a Venezuelan Maloney.
Exactly. And what was it? The previous president's daughter was the most richest person in the country that took Chavez or whatever his name was. So we are getting a lot of their oil. We're still in control of the government itself. So nothing like that's going to change. And they're trying to increase output out of Venezuela as much as possible. So now if we take a look at what we just did to China, because these are number 1 and number 2 for for trying to get any oil. They take 90% of Iran oil, and they took a big chunk of Venezuelan oil, and right now they get nothing. So their reserves are going to start to die off. I'm not sure exactly where they're going to get it, if some of the infrastructure they built from India back into Russia is actually there with the pipelines and all that, or truck lines or whatever they were going to figure out doing for moving. I'm not exactly sure, but it's not easy, and they can't get it just from the pipeline anymore. Normally with the ghost ships and all that stuff they've been dealing with. And then, of course, the United States stepping up to basically secure and ensure global maritime insurance, because London's not wanting to step up to the plate, and we'd say we do escorts, and they're saying that's not enough. Just think about that. If one of these ships get blown up, it could be $500 billion just to pay off the insurance on one of these ships. That's the serious money we are talking about. And a regular cargo ship that the big guys coming with all the product, it could be worth $500 billion on insurance settlements, because that's including the ship too, and the cargo that's on it, and all the other shit that you have to go through and pay for it. So just think about that for the shipping company that we stepped
Sounds like
up.
Larry Silverstein. Remember when he got that insurance before the buildings went down? A lot of money in this kind of stuff. Yep.
A lot of asbestos in those buildings they're going to take down.
I told them to pull it. I said, pull it.
I saw a funny word. Somebody made a comment that Ludnick went out and took an insurance policy on the Burj Khalifa before it got hit.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like Cantor Fitzgerald, yeah.
I'm just making fun of him. Anybody want to take a crack at that? I thought that was interesting.
From the Kobe SE letter, breaking: President Trump has brokered a multi-million-dollar gold deal between U.S. and Venezuela. Per Axios, here's the deal. Venezuelan state-owned mining company Minervan agrees to sell up to 1,000 kilograms of gold destined for U.S. markets. Trafigura will shepherd the gold to U.S. refineries under a separate arrangement with the U.S. government, and the contract calls for 98% final gold content. The deal could be worth $150 million. The U.S. is eyeing Venezuelans' gold. Look at that. Gold, oil, a little bit of everything, guys. There we go.
Yeah, we need it to make stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to use it for electronics. That's what they're going to use it for. We're trying to secure gold, copper, silver, those types of things to make sure we can keep the AI race running, even though we're going to have run out of power before we have chips. So chips will sit idle at the end of the year. So OpenAI's Sam Altman doesn't look all that well out there. So here, ran by this. I thought this is interesting, Mr. Space. I read this for everybody.
Okie dokie. We got Narcos in Paris. Nestled in a dusty, unassuming strip mall in Paris, California, not Paris, sits El Rincón La Chulis, run by Laisha Osenguera Gonzalez, 24 years old, youngest daughter of Nemesio El Menche Cervantes.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, Cartel boss's kid owns a coffee shop in Paris about an hour from me.
Not anymore.
Maybe we should go get some coffee.
Get some coffee. Get some money laundering operations. It's like meeting Walter White. That's great.
That's pretty much what I was thinking, dude. That whole synopsis like that. I'm all, that's some sort of cartel like laundering type thing.
El Pollo.
Unless you just want to get rid of one of the kids. Where you want to go, America? All right, here's a couple $100,000. Go do something. Here's another one here. Space Shot.
Mexico mandates biometric SIM registration for all phone numbers. Every phone number in Mexico must be biometrically linked to a named individual by July of 26, or the line goes dark. 127 million numbers. No exemptions for journalists, activists, or domestic abuse survivors. That's banana. And dude, that's sounding like, and I don't want to crush another story you might have coming up. Sounds like something somebody else is going to be requiring people coming up soon as well. I think you have.
Here, you want to read that?
All right, Tony Saruga, the cell phone data guy. Government wants to scan your face. It's not waiting for permission. Department of Homeland Security is planning a unified biometric system that would allow agents across Customs and Border Protection, ICE, TSUSA, USCIS Secret Service, and DHS headquarters to identify almost anyone using a face scan, fingertip, iris, image, or voice sample and instantly cross-reference it against hundreds of millions of federal records. No warrant, no published suspicion standard. Results stored for 15 years.
And remember, the NSA has that special place in Utah that records every phone call, text message, voice, whatever you put out on the internet for 500 years. They have that storage. They built it in the early, 2012, 2014, something around there. And just remember that voice samples, because you remember the NSA had that whole technology. They could find anybody on the planet with your voice. Crazy
Terms
stuff.
of service, guys. Terms of service. Be careful. All these apps, we're walking around with these tracking devices since the beginning, and especially the Alexas. Watch out.
We're going to get into California here for a quick second. Ran into some interesting stuff here. Space Shot, you want to read?
Ron, it's getting late here. Can you take over?
Yeah, guys. For those playing along at home, here's a recap of the shit show that is playing out for the city of Los Angeles in the Palisades fire case. Mayor Bass was MIA in Ghana during the Palisades fire. Bass initially praises Chief Kristen Crowley, then fires her for allegedly refusing to do after-action report. LAFD completes an AARR, but Bass doesn't like it because it exposes city to potential liability. Bass then hires PR firm to edit AARR to protect Mayor Bass, the city, and LAFD from reputational harm. Former Chief Kristen Crowley files whistleblower retaliation lawsuit against LA City. LAFD firefighter testifies his warnings were ignored about leaving smokers and red hot coals at Lackman Fire Burn Scar. On January 2nd, court overrules the LADWP's motion to dismiss the plaintiff's master complaint in Palisades fire case. Bass fires then Janice Quinones, head of LADWP, who says she is returning to Puerto Rico.
So big fire that burned down 7,000 homes in the Pacific Palisades. So this is one of the mayors that are going to be running for it. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. We're going to get to him here in a second. But things to remember over here is he's doing the insurance fraud against the LA Fire Department, the whole group here in LA. He put forth the information, got the testimony, got discovery in there, started pressing the case, and that's when all the insurance companies joined against the city itself. So I don't know where LA is going to get all the money for burning down 7,000 homes and stuff like that, but it's not looking good for them when you have like the big insurance companies go, yeah, they're right, they effed up, because of course they don't want to pay.
Not going to be good for them, that's for sure.
What else do we got? Oh yeah, I might as well.
Thank you so much, Council Member.
We have more council members basically quit, realizing the rats remaining on the board is a sinking ship. Watch Los Angeles Council find out that CEO of LADP suddenly quit as the lawsuit continues to pile up daily. So anybody that was touching this stuff is currently stepping down or no longer available for their position. So stuff like that's happening all the time. And I don't know how they're going to do the lawsuits if none of these people are in charge that made any of these decisions, but they're going to pay out. So stuff like that is happening pretty quickly as California is set on fire again. What else do we got for you? Oh, yeah, this is a huge thing. Chevron sounds the alarm. California's radical regulations could trigger energy doomsday. Gas prices are going up because we have the whole war thing going over there in Iran. So we're a little limited where they're going to get this fuel from. And since Chevron and the rest of the guys that make this special blend for California for their low emission, blah, 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 whatever it is going to be really super scarce. And the only place this guy can get it now is like somewhere in the Philippines, 2,500 miles away. And you have to put it on a boat to ship it here that nobody wants to insure right now here at this point. So yeah, gas prices in California are going to increase here pretty quickly here in the next month. So yay.
Again?
It's going to suck. It's going to suck. It's coming. What else do we got? Oh, yeah. This is absolutely, I can't believe this happened. So this is a popular thing in California. If you knew that you needed to get yourself a fake ID of anything you would need to go to in the last 10 years, you go down to MacArthur Park. I actually got one for my boss's son so he could drive the golf cart on the golf course. Got him a fake ID, showed him he was 17 or whatever to ride the golf cart so he could play golf. So anyways, they went in there and they busted a huge operation to these guys for the 18th Street gang here in MacArthur Park, and an open air drug and a whole bunch of money and the fake IDs. So that was interesting to see that happen, because I never, ever would have thought they would have even attempted to go into this area and take this off. And they wiped these guys out, and it's really known for making fake IDs. So it'll be probably open next week again.
Operation Dead Horse?
Yeah, as they were going through the operation. Here's the other thing to come into. This is great, dude, because we got 2 Republicans that are leading over here in our elections.
Win, get out. That's the very direct message from the chair of California's Democratic Party to the half a dozen high-profile Democrats that are running for governor. The June primaries are fast approaching, and the field remains very crowded. Here's a look at the latest polling from February. You can see the top 2 Republican candidates are polling around the same numbers as the top 3 Democrats. And the Democratic Party's worried all those other candidates polling at a combined 30 points could clear the way for a Republican victory for the first time since 2006. Robert Honda joins us live after talking to the party's chair. Robert, what's he saying tonight?
So we got a 2-party system here in California over here. And since the 2 Republicans, Hilton and I can't remember the other guy that's in the race itself, both of them are running their, the sheriff. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Brain fog today. They're both running, they're leading, so they're telling the rest of the Democrats to step out so we can put all the force behind one of them, and maybe we'll be able to make it to the primary and have people actually vote. If they don't, it'll be 2 Republicans. Normally, it's always been 2 Democrats the entire time, and we always got screwed. That's how we got Gavin Newsom. Yay! And the other good news here is we're going to be able to vote on voter ID here in California. We've got 1.3 million, so we've got over the amount, so they're going to put it on the next agenda. That's cool. And it'll probably lose again. So, yeah, because we're dumb. And then you guys had pointed this out. I got it out of order earlier, but the whole ID thing is obviously coming to YouTube and Discord. Just remember that they both pulled away from the Palantir version of the AI system that they were going to use, and they're going to use something else. I don't know exactly what it was, the name of the company, but like a week or so ago, they found out the Discord leaked all their information by accident. Oops, sorry, all the biometric data that we said we had secured, that we were going to make sure we validated everybody's ID, and it was quiet and nobody's ever going to see it. Yeah, that got leaked. So then they're like, yeah, it's not a good idea. Sheriff Bianco, thank you. Appreciate that. Steve Hilton and Sheriff Bianco are the 2 leads in California. Who would think it? So this is happening out here. What else do we want to throw in here in the very end as we get into here? Tony, our data guy over here, was pointing out that since there was a deluge of reaction to finishing the ballroom that Trump wants to do, the big, giant, beautiful ballroom out there, he went and looked at the numbers over there. And basically he said that there was a crap load of bots that were overdoing it, because then this slowed down the public comment section, which means we need more time and we can't get a finalization on said ballroom because so many people in this public are out there doing it. And he's like, dude, it's a bunch of bots that are doing it. So I thought that was interesting, as the system's still running with all the bots. What else do we want to get into? I got a couple more in here. Oh, yeah, don't steal. Dude, look how far they went for this guy. Read that for everybody, Tron.
Guys, from Cash Patel last night, John Dagita, a U.S. government contractor who allegedly stole more than $46 million in cryptocurrency from the U.S. Marshals Service, was arrested on the island of Saint Martin by the French government Premier Elite Tactical Unit in a joint operation with the FBI. Thanks to the International Cooperation Team Serious Crime Unit of the French National in Saint Martin and the Groupe Intervention French Stuff Garde-Mandon National Guadeloupe of outstanding coordination. There it is, guys. Cash in the suitcase. 46 million in crypto. That's good.
From the U.S. Marshals Service.
So they were like, what, taking a little bit off the top, a little Serpico action?
Yeah, dude, I didn't know that the U.S. Marshal Service had $46 million in crypto.
Wow, that's
crazy, dude.
Yeah. And again, regulations, just like the YouTube you showed, KYC, know your customer. And even like after years of restarting a YouTube account, they want you to have like verify your identity, your ID, just to like, post a link or something in the comments. Like they're very restrictive on it now. And that's not a good thing.
Is Space Shot come back?
Yes.
Or is he still MIA?
I just have to be very quiet because apparently we have a very early morning tomorrow morning. Shh.
Here, I got this for you. Did you know Ed Buck's still alive? Read this tagline for everybody. You there?
Let's do it. A federal jury awarded $2 million in a wrongful death case against Democrat campaign contributor Ed Buck. Gavin Newsom, Adam Shifty Schiff, Ted Lieu, and a whole lot of other Democrats would appreciate. Wow, he is back. That is crazy.
So wrongful death case against there. So the mom gets all the money that he was supposedly putting large amounts of drugs into the gentleman's rear end as a boofing type deal, and then have sex with them as they overdose. They got $2 million for that.
Yeah.
It was so bad that the neighbors knew that was happening, and if they found somebody unconscious, that they would have to take them back to that particular apartment of Ed Buck's.
Oh my goodness! Another one of Buck's victims comes rolling at your house at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, just send him back over there. The police even knew him. All that.
Nancy Pelosi's. It's hammer time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he was there too. I wouldn't be surprised. We could skip that because we already did that. What else do we want to get into? I think I'm at the end of my rope, guys. Southern Com. What else do we got? I think that's about it for me. I think I spent my wad, guys, and that's. Oh, do want to throw this thing out here, dude, because I've been following beef stuff. Thank God I remembered this out here because she was talking about because we've been seeing the deals with Venezuela. Why are we buying cows from Venezuela and stuff? And she made a huge point that I totally missed.
3-day-old bull calves are selling for $2,200 right now. Just regular old black bull calves. 3 days old, still drinking milk. And someone is paying $2,200 for that calf. Get your pencil out because something big is happening in the cattle market. Why would someone pay that kind of money for a newborn calf? Think about what that actually means. That calf still has to be raised, weaned, backgrounded, finished, processed before it ever becomes beef. That takes about, 16 to 18 months before it turns into steak or hamburger. So when someone pays $2,200 for a 3-day-old calf, they're not buying beef today. They're making a bet on what beef prices will be in a year and a half from now. And here's where it gets interesting. Right now, the system looks like it has cattle. Feedlots are still full. Beef is still on grocery store shelves, but that's the last wave of cattle from a much bigger herd. For years, ranchers have been liquidating cows because of drought and costs and broken markets and just going out of business. When ranchers sell off breeding cows, it doesn't show up overnight. It shows up years later when there are fewer calves being born. And that's exactly where we are right now. The pipeline still has cattle in it, but the cow herd behind it is the smallest it's been in decades, which means the future supply of cattle is getting tighter. So when you see someone paying $2,200 for a newborn calf, that's the market telling you something. People aren't buying that calf for today. They're betting what that beef will be worth in 18 months from now. And if they're willing to pay that kind of money today, you might want to ask yourself one question. What do you think beef will cost when that calf finally hits your dinner plate?
So yeah, it normally takes 3 or 4 years for a cycle. So you make new cows, and not every new cow is going to be a girl cow. So you get 1 in 4 are going to be female. The rest of them, they're going to just slaughter out after that, and then see if they actually have kids, 1 or 2. So it takes a while to get this, and they only started this at the beginning of Trump's deal. Because when Biden came in and the COVID thing, and they started paying all the the farmers and the processors to slaughter the younger cows that weren't really ready yet. It could have hung out for another year and a half. They slaughtered them all because they were paying extra. So yeah, that's where we leave it right there. Thoughts, anybody?
No, yeah,
want to throw up?
Yeah, getting expensive to have that nice steak dinner. And I'll tell you what, it almost feels like we're seeing these little remnants of the previous administration kind of phasing out, leaking out, and of course, the spotlight. I mean, imagine that scenario, but years ago, you will own nothing, be happy. We're going to sit at home with our masks on and eat these bug sandwiches. And they even had that company, Beyond Meat. Like, when the soy isn't enough, when the tofu and the frankenfood isn't enough, then they go to the bug. So we're in good hands, and hopefully the beef prices will come down. I miss a good steak, man. A nice filet. Delicious.
Isn't it more expensive chicken nowadays?
Chicken's ridiculous too, man. Chicken is the new steak when you think about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that joke?
Fish,
You could stick your head up a bull's ass, or you could take a butcher's word for it.
That's right. Tommy Boy, baby. Let's go. But some argue Black Sheep was the better film. I disagree.
Oh my God, we have Jersey cow milk cows. Oh yeah, I'm all over here, Chino. We got them all over the place out here. Cows all over the place, about not too far away. It doesn't smell like cow poop, but it's still fine out here on that side. I think we should round it up. Do you guys got any final thoughts you want to throw out there? Because we saw a lot of disinformation this week. The panicants out there. The strong MAGA group out there, obviously the fighting in between all the influencers, which I pretty much stay away from because I just laugh and point at all of them. So thoughts on any of that so far?
Yeah, real quick, just on that note, you got to realize the closer we get to success, the closer we get to that light at the end of the tunnel, we're going to have forces that are here economically, physically, spiritually. They're going to be in all directions coming at us. And again, slings and arrows work both ways. This is why we are protected under the armor of God. We dig, we pray, and we're ready for the next one. That's the most important part, guys. And it's fun watching newbies. It's fun watching normies wake up and turn into us like 10, 15, 20, however it started. Whatever your wake-up period, it's great to see this movement grow and get bigger. And it's all about the power in numbers. They can't stop us. Truth, light, and love. And this is the spiritual awakening on top of that. So we're going to stay focused. We're going to wait for the next side show narrative that comes our way. And most importantly, like I said 1,000 times, we're in good hands. DJT, let's just, wait for the finish line and cross it like we've never crossed it before, baby. It's pedal to the metal. And again, 2026, 2028, we're not looking back. There is no other choice. It's MAGA all the way. And Boss has, dedicated his life to preserving American values for the future. And this is what we have to remember to pass on to our children and future generations. And the best part, guys, 250 years anniversary, Patriots rejoice. And again, they're looking down on us from back then and cheering us on all along the way, man. So just have faith, be encouraged, and we're going to be there.
Space Shot, final thoughts for you?
Yeah. Big meme and pray. Absolutely. And you got to definitely see how this stuff kind of plays out as we go, especially with the Iran stuff. So great show, guys. And apologize, I have to be a little quieter as not to get the wrath of the cohabitating ex-wife upstairs. But that won't be much longer, so we don't have to worry about that. Great show, guys.
All right. Tron, what's for dinner?
Guys, tomorrow night, we're going to see you for Friday Funnies. Grab your funny links and also grab photographs of your Tron tent. What is Tron tent? Tomorrow we're doing vintage toys. So Linda, Dragonfly Sister's idea was take pictures of your vintage toys, whatever you had from your childhood. And if you don't have pictures of it, take a picture off of eBay. Show us what you used to have. And we're going to do a little Tron tent. And Saturday night is Keeping It Wheel. That's the music show. That's where we get to, enjoy older music from the past and also get introduced to some new music. So get your music ready for Saturday night. Drop those links in the chat for Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday morning, Great Awakening Morning Show. A lot happening this week. It's going to be a great show. Dan Scavino, Boss. And again, the hunters become the hunted, baby. This is the Boomerang Suicide. Get excited. And again, we're going to see you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day except Monday. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Hulk, Space Shot, for a great show. We miss you, Doc. We love you. And we're going to do it again next time, guys. As always, have faith, be encouraged. Dig, meme, and pray. Where we go on, baby, we go all. Let's go.
Yes, thank you. Space Shot.
Ooh, this thing here. Shh. Oh, sorry. I gotta go over to the old D Lives and thank some folks over here really quickly. Even though I'm whispering, I know. Shh. Patriot Chick, Rdoc, P Dancer, the top 3 contributors over there. So I do greatly appreciate that as well. And did also receive a coffee. I had it up and I just missed it. There we go. Where did you go? Darling USA had sent over a coffee. Said, thank you, Space Shot, for all of your hard work. And I can't forget to thank all the wonderful mods out there, of course, and Country and the folks that are simulcasting over on Liberty-Based News, formerly the Patriot News Crew. So I think that's all I got over there for now for thank yous, Hulk. But I'm going to make sure I release the scratch. And I got to make Susie Q mod over there. But thank you.
Yeah, I do want to say a big thank you to Shannon for the Rumble Wallet tip. You guys rock if you're out there getting involved in the Rumble Wallet. Over on the Pilled side, Willie Breakit gifted the cookie. Let's get this show on the road. It's like nothing ever happened in the news this week. Yeah, that's absolutely true. 100%. Too many things to remember. I probably forgot half of it because I was getting through the show links or whatever, and I got to, oh yeah, the Clintons testified too. I totally forgot about that. Anyways, One Thunder gifted the can out there. Q shook me all night long. Gifted the can. Pray for our troops and America. Big hat tip to you and the rest of the troops that are putting their life on the line. Sean Joe with the cookie and another cookie. Good Dog with a can. Sean Joe with a cookie and another cookie. Curious Cat dropped me a cookie, and Sean Joe finishes it out with a cookie. And I also did release the scratchings over there on that side. And again, we'll finish up the rest of this stuff on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific or 1 p.m. Eastern for the Hulk and Space Shot show. Make sure you go to each one of our shows, leave a little comment in the bottom of the video. If you could smash the thumbs up, that'd be greatly appreciated. Maybe share the show. As long as you're at it, if you can make your way over to X and go visit us and a follow over there, that'd be greatly appreciated. And we always appreciate the people that break out the wall and donate to the show. We know times are hard, and we really appreciate you guys always helping us out. And like Space Shot always says,
we do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots out there. And until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Much love. Be good humans.
Let's go now.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's brackets and jackets. Bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see, this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh, boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton, and Epstein is Haiti, and Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Brian Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.